A new working committee comprising farmers, co-ops of CRABWOOD Creek, Mulson Creek, etc. have been established to oversee the development of some 35,000 acres of lands in those areas. Most of the co-ops oversee lands that were formerly used for sugarcane cultivation. The new committee comes out of a meeting with members of the various co-ops and farmers in general of the upper quarantine areas of CRABWOOD Creek and Mulson Creek, hosted by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa Saturday. Speaking with the farmers, Minister Mustafa explained that based on their requests, a survey was done and a report compiled.
So now we did have a report here, which was done by Lionel and a team. We have 30,000 acres of land. Now the cane farmers, the farmer cane farmers, they would have about approximately 10,000 acres, and then you have different other groups that have different number of acreage. When you add it up together, it gets just over 30,000 acres. Now the last time we had a meeting on a classic, about 3 weeks ago or a month ago, we were advised by the Vice President that we should form an implementation committee. Now we want to start work immediately in these lands. Some farmers indicate that they want to go back to cane. Some farmers indicated that they want to go to corn, while some are saying, looking at this new crop that we want to start, a hemp. We have formed a hemp board now, and very shortly the hemp board will start to receive application to give license. And Region 6 is one of the regions that have been identified in the legislation to start the cultivation of hemp, Region 6 and Region 10. The Vice President is saying that we should give to small farmers, like about 1 acre and 2 acres, so that they can start to farm and do this hemp production. But hemp is a very lucrative crop where a lot of you can make a lot of product from hemp. Now, corn, we have had a meeting with the President and a set of cane farmers, farmer cane farmers. They indicated that they wanted to do corn, and we were looking to build a silo at Mulson there with the road to start if they could, and help them to do some drainage. They will have to do majority of the drainage, but we will also help them, right, Lina, to do some of the drainage. But our job was to build the silo, help them to set up the land for the production of corn, and do the road, the Mulson Creek Road. That is still on the card. So what we'll do this afternoon, we'll set up the committee, this committee. Mr. Ramraj will be the chair of this committee from the Ministry of Agriculture. And we'll have the cane farmers, we'll have Adrian who will play an integral role, plus some of the farmers. This committee will meet on a regular basis. We will now flesh out, because we can't go in the entire program. When you look at this program with all the land, and we get a limited amount of time to start the expenditure, because the Vice President would have announced at the last meeting that in our budget, Ministry of Agriculture budget, we put aside $2 billion to start work on this project. Now, let me be frank with you. When people hear that amount of money, that money can be expended for this year, right? We'll have to start the program. We already have some program already completed, which fall under that amount, right? Which fall under that amount, and we'll have to use some money to work on that program.
According to Minister Mustafa, the consideration now is to determine the crops to be cultivated, and the preparation of land started immediately. The minister assured the gathering that all the agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture will be lending support to the various groups in getting the lands on the cultivation. He explained that in addition to crops, the lands are ideal for the establishment of shrimp farms, which is now a lucrative form of farming that has proven itself on the lower and central Quarantine and at Anvawak on the west coast of Berbice.
So, I am looking to start from the upper Quarantine side, the Mulson Creek end, coming down. So if we can, first of all, I don't know the other interests, but I know because I have met together with the President and Vice President, I met with the cane farmers separately. We met together as a team, and we said, they first indicated that some of them wanted to start back cane, because you know we start to do cane cultivation once again at Skelden. This year we will plant 1,500 hectares. And that will follow by next year, we'll do up to 5,000 hectares of mechanized. I don't know if the cane farmers, they get problem with the bank too. We have to work with them with the bank. All those, there are a lot of complications. But we have to start the program that we have to go from the ministry level. So we'll set up this committee. We'll have Lionel from the NDIA. We'll have Ramraj from my ministry, my office. We'll have all the agency, GLDA, NARI, GRDB, because most of the cultivation fall under these agencies. We also will look at fisheries, because there was a suggestion that we do shrimp farming. We have started the Vanami Prawns program in Anvawa. We already started production. We had our first production a month ago, right? And now we are bringing back new larvae from Florida next week. And next week we'll have more production coming out of that. I know prawns is a very lucrative shrimp. Very, very expensive, and in the high-end restaurants you get these things. So if we can produce it, there's a lot of market in the Caribbean and North America for this, which we are working on, the Ministry of Agriculture. So some people can get involved into that. We are now building our own hatchery, so we will produce our own larvae that we can supply to Guyanese farmers. Vanami larvae, the shrimp, the baby shrimp there, if you want to know, our larvae. And we are also building our own feed mill. The cost for feed is so much high that we can't afford to buy feed from overseas. So we will produce our own feed mill, and by the end of this year, by December, it will come into operation.
The new management committee comprises 8 farmer co-op representatives and is to be chaired by Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Madan Lal Ramraj. Saturday's meeting also saw farmers of Blackbush raising issues with the minister, among which was access to irrigation water for the start of the first rice crop for 2025. Minister Mustafa assured that all critical pumps are in operation, having been recently serviced. He also oversaw the formation of a committee that will oversee the operation of the various pump stations. That committee will be chaired by Regional Vice Chairman Mr. Zamal Hussain. The committee will be tasked with making spot checks on pump stations to ensure that they are in operation when they are supposed to be. This committee, which comprises representatives from Blackbush and the Quarantine Frontlands, NDIA, the Rice Producers Association and the RDC, will report directly to the Minister's Secretariat.